next item on the agenda is the appointment of corporate officers, and I have an order that I'd like to read and request a motion and second and roll call vote. The Charter of the Town of Newbern provides for the appointment of certain specified constitutional officers by the newly directed Board of Mayor and Alderman. Some of these officers are required by the Charter to be appointed as soon as possible following the first meeting of the new board. These officers are to be appointed at unspecified times following the installation of the new board. I, as mayor, intend to conduct a thorough evaluation of the current constitutional officers as soon as practical following this first meeting. On the basis of this evaluation, I will make recommendations to the board in the near future for the appointment of the constitutional officers to serve during the term of this board. In the interim, I request that the current constitutional officers, namely Jason Roberts, Harold Donovan, and Philip Cottrell, continue to serve in the offices of Recorder Treasurer, Chief of Police, and Chief of Fire Department, respectively, on a temporary interim basis pending the election of permanent officers by the new board.
Mr. Mayor, you want me to put that form of a motion?
If you would, please.
All right. Make a motion that we approve this.
Second. Have a motion and second on the floor. We call for discussion. No discussion. We call for a roll call vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay, motion passes. Next item on the agenda is the adoption of banking resolutions. Mr. Recorder, I'm going to pass this on to you to I'm not sure how we're going to do it. There's actually 3 exhibits here. Our charter requires us to pass this. This is the banking resolution, which actually transfers the bank account from the existing mayor to the new mayor. And there are 3 of these.
If I may, Mayor, there are 3 and their account numbers listed on here. I would prefer not to read all the account numbers out of the public air. If it'll be all right, I will read one instead of it's Security Bank First Citizens and First Side Bank. I'll just say banks.
Okay.
That'll be all right. Okay. 3 resolutions of the Board of Mayor and Alderman authorizing the banking accounts at the 3 banks mentioned. Resolved that the banking accounts hereinafter described shall and are hereby authorized to be established and maintained by the City of Newbern at the 3 banks named, and the name and use for the use of the city, and that monies, checks, and other funds of the city be deposited in said accounts. Further, until otherwise notified in writing, the bank D and is hereby authorized to make payments from the funds of the city on deposit in said accounts through draft, check, or other instrument or form of payment of the city executed by any 2 of the following corporate officers, whom the bank may rely upon as duly authorized and entitled to take any and all actions with respect to such account to debts. And as you can all see, the banks are there. We'll skip all the account numbers. Resolved further that the bank is authorized to receive for deposit or collection any item purporting to be endorsed in the name of the city, and that all checks, drafts, notes, or other negotiable papers or electronic payments endorsed, signed, or authorized by the foregoing persons on behalf of the city, including checks or other instruments or forms of payment drawn to cash or to individual order of any officer or employee of the city, shall be honored and paid by bank without need to inquire as to whether the same be drawn or required for the city's business or benefit, and all such payments shall be charged to the city's accounts. Resolved further that any and all acts and things done heretofore or hereafter pursuant to the authority of this resolution by the bank or by the officers of the city be and same are hereby fully ratified and approved, and that this resolution shall continue in full force and effect until written notice of revocation duly signed in the name of the city by mayor and recorder thereof, and if required, duly sealed, shall have been received by the bank. And resolve further that a true and correct copy of the foregoing resolution certified by the recorder of the city, or a form of any resolution similar thereto, may be presented to the bank as evidence of the authority of the appropriate officers of the city to establish the city's account and to execute on behalf of the city an account agreement and such other agreements, documents, and instruments as may be required by the bank at any time. Wherefore, the foregoing resolution of the Board of Mayor and Alderman of the City of Newbern authorizing banking accounts for Citizen Security First, I think, has been duly adopted by said board at its meeting held November 20th, 2012. Again, Mr. Mayor, that is 3 resolutions.
Okay, 3 resolutions representing First Citizens National Bank, First South Bank, and Security Bank. Can I obtain a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a motion to approve, a second?
Second.
Have a motion to approve and a second. Any discussion? Okay, again, we'll call for a roll call vote.
Chris?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Mayor, that is 6 ayes.
Okay, motion passes. Next item on our agenda is additional appointments. The mayor gets the opportunity to bring forth his representative for vice mayor, and I would like to present John Flatt as candidate for vice mayor.
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor.
Second.
I have 2 seconds on the floor. Motion, any discussion? Again, we'll call for a roll call vote.
Chris?
Yes.
Yes.
David?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes. Yes.
Mayor, that is 6 ayes.
That's 6 ayes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present you as vice mayor, Mr. John Flatt. One of the things, the planning commission will actually be meeting before this board meets again, so we were kind of in a point to appoint someone to the planning commission. We had a straw poll, and we semi-agreed, and we need to put this in the form of a motion. We'd like to present Mr. Tim Ware as the candidate for the planning commission for the city of Newbern. Can I ask for a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, have a motion, a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second, any discussion? Okay, again, I'll ask for a roll call vote.
Chris?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Actually, this whole thing is just so that Jason can learn everybody's name. Yeah. Okay. At this time, I think our city recorder has some documents, and these will not be discussed at this meeting, but he's presenting the board a copy of the latest city budget, the city charter, the municipal handbook, and a listing of our employees and their job descriptions. Okay, at this time, we'll call for our department reports, starting with the police. We've been presented the reports from the police department. Obtain a request a motion to accept as presented.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Ron.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and second on the floor. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion carries. Fire report. Chief Officer. Thank you, fire department. Randy, do you have his report? Okay. Okay, public works. Everyone had time to kind of scan over the report. I know we're kind of doing skim work. The floor would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion on the floor to approve. Second. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
In the future, with all this, it'll be in advance where we can get, I understand tonight. Okay, thank you.
Well, Sanders, that's the Sanders right there.
That's fine. You know, that's good. I just,
Okay, have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Veterans Management Service, we have Lance. Okay, Lance. Okay, he's coming. Veterans Management Service is the company that actually runs our wastewater treatment plant, and he's going to present us he'll explain a little bit more about this, but a sewer ordinance that we get to read between now and next meeting. And then from that point, we'll be asked to have a first reading and then pass that ordinance in January.
Yes, good evening, everybody. I just know one. I just know one or two of y'all. I can speak the rest of y'all. As he just said, we handle the water, wastewater, and lift station operations in the city of Newbern. Every municipality has a sewer use ordinance and an enforcement response plan that is part of basically how you operate your sewer system and the steps you take if someone fails to operate according to the ordinance. In 2008, the city of Newbern was pulled by Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation for review. 2 years later, they sent it back. We weren't aware. We came in 2009. They sent it back, and they requested quite a few changes. Most of them were spelling. We converted it to electronic format. References to laws that had changed over the previous 20-something years. So the original plan was from the 1980s of the previous plan. We incorporated all of those changes into it, resubmitted it back to the Department of Environment and Conservation. They sent it back with their approval. It then required a publication and review for 30 days for comments. We did that on July 22nd was the publication date. Now the final step is the adoption. I have each one of you a copy here, except for Mr. Mayor, I've got you the letters that weren't in yours, but you got a copy. of the updated sewer use ordinance. The meat of it wasn't changed as far as surcharges, enforcement, items such as that are really going to be of interest to industry. I'm sure that's why we didn't get much response to it. But we're at the final stage right now, which is just the adoption of it. So I will give it to y'all. I know you've got a lot on the plate. I've got a big summary that we're working on. At a future meeting, we'll give you that covers the whole system, but this is the only thing that's pressing at this time.
Okay, is there, and I had mentioned on the first reading and second reading, is there an issue that this is not passed as we go with?
I have not heard anything back from Environment Conservation. If I do, I'll inform them of the election. And they were aware that we were on schedule as of September. If I get anything different, I'll let you know.
Thanks, sir.
Thank y'all. If you have any questions about it, I'm glad to bring the cards with me. We're in the phone book. Casey, of course, we work with him every day. I'll get all the contact information distributed out for all of our guys here at Newbern to handle the daily function.
Enjoy it.
Thank you. We'll have an opportunity in December if we needed before the first of the year. Correct?
Mr. Mayor, if y'all wanted to do the first reading tonight, you will have a public hearing. Have a discussion at a later date. If you're worried about the time crunch at all, there will be another opportunity, but again, completely your call there. However you want.
You'll have two readings. Tonight will be the first reading.
If y'all see fit.
Please.
Okay. Consensus of the board is that we'll just go ahead and call for a first reading tonight, and I guess we're going to do the short version. You don't mind? Okay, the floor will entertain a motion to suspend the reading until the next meeting. And I'll entertain a motion for that.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
Have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Next thing on the agenda is the property condemnation, and as you know, the city has been in the process of doing a condemnation of intimate domain, some property located just off 77. This board would like to postpone any further legal proceedings on this property until we have an opportunity to go through the processes and the uses of that condemnation. What's the pleasure of the board? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Have a motion on the floor. Second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion? No discussion on the floor. Call for roll call vote.
Chris?
Yes.
Robert?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we have 6 ayes, the motion passes. Next item on the agenda is calling for a comprehensive state and independent audit of the city's accounts. I had communication with the comptroller's office, and they told us to notify them when this board was ready and they would make contact with us. So what's the pleasure of the board? Entertain for a motion?
I make a motion.
Have a motion by Chris.
Second.
Have a second by John. Have a motion second on the floor. Any discussion?
Councilman.
Make a phone call tomorrow.
Is this gonna cost us anything?
Not according to the preliminary phone call.
Can we make sure we get that in writing?
Okay. If it does, we'll bring that back to the board or get that through. So I have a motion and second on the floor. Also, we'll call for a roll call vote.
Chris?
Yes.
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 That's 6 ayes, motion carried. Mr. Recorder, I had asked you to do checking on what the status of the ATA audit report for last fiscal year.
Yes, sir. I spoke with our auditor, the lead auditor, Kevin Howell. He's basically thrown the ball back in the board's court. He's ready to present it December, January. That's whatever y'all would like to do there.
Okay.
What's customary?
In years past, we dispensed with the December meeting, getting on the flow of business.
We'll be here.
Ready to go.
Okay.
He's going to give me the draft. He's reviewing it. I'll give it to you guys as soon as I get it.
We have consensus of the board for the report to be presented next board meeting.
Yes, sir.
That's the consensus of the board.
Yes.
We'll be back on the
Yeah, we're ready.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next item is bid opening for street paving.
Yes, sir. A bid opening was conducted at City Hall for our annual street paving. There was one bidder, Ford Construction Company. The bid was submitted at $100.26 per ton.
Okay. We only have one bidder.
Mr. Mayor, how does that rate in the past in comparison to what we've been getting?
When I took the job, it's more than double.
Is this a purchase for next spring, or
We have one paving job, small paving job, and then two, and then would be next
Small
year.
streets.
so we're locked in at that price if we so choose? You say it's almost doubled in 6 years.
Sir, I think the last one was 81. Last year's was 80. And the higher the tonnage, just basically the less we're going to pay. We only have X amount of dollars allocated. So you increase the price, you increase the rate, basically.
How many bidders usually bid on paving?
The next closest asphalt plant is in Keaton. Close to that. Jackson.
What's the dollar amount that's been set aside?
60,000. 30 out of the street. 60.
Mr. Mayor, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we accept this, and don't like doing it with just one bid, but it's what it is, it's what's been in the past, and I don't want to hold up if you've got some projects set up to do. So I'll make that formal motion.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to accept the paving bid at $101.26 per ton. Board entertain a second.
I second.
Have a motion second on the floor. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. At this time, that concludes our agenda. On the closing remarks, I do have a couple of things that I'd like to bring to the attention of the community that's coming up. First off is November 26th will be the Dyersburg Christmas Parade. November 29th, which is a week from Thursday, will be Newbern's Christmas Parade. And the women's club is holding a home tour and bank sale on December 2nd, and you can check at the Cindy's Florist or Johnson Williams Funeral Home about information on that. And also coming January 10th to the 11th, for those who caught that in the newspaper, Dyer County High School is going to be hosting the Penny Hardaway Hoop Fest, which is a very, very large national sporting event that will be held here on Thursday and Friday, and then the third day of that will be held in Memphis. So this will be a very positive thing for Newbern. And John, if you don't mind telling a little bit more about it, because you were involved in it.
Been involved since February. 4 top 20 ranked teams in the nation, 6 state champions, 6 different states represented, and the gentleman, Travis Haddock, is putting it on, a promoter out of Memphis, and Steve Woodward out of Kentucky. Investment about $117,000. They bring these teams in, they fly them in, they bus them in, they feed them, they put them up in hotels. We have the nation's number 2 ranked team coming from Las Vegas, Nevada. We need to pack the gym. I got involved because I wanted to bring attention to Dyer County High School and this community. And I'm looking forward to, if we can pack it. My big goal, hadn't been promised this yet, but if we can make it a success, I want the game to be televised on ESPN national. So that's my goal, and that was the first question I asked in February this year to the promoter, who is a friend of the gentleman that coordinates all the high school events for the nation. And he said, let's start at square one. We secured the tournament. Now we got to make it a success, and then we'll proceed on next year. So that's our goal, and I'm really looking forward to it. So try to come out and support it.
Okay. Thank you, John. And for those of you who don't know, last Thursday, when the press conference was held for Penny Hardaway Hoop Fest, a young man that we're all very proud of officially signed for UT Sports, and that Robert Hubbs, and we're very proud of him for making that move, and he'll be staying in the state of Tennessee playing basketball, so we'll still get to go see him, get to see him more regularly. Anybody have any further comment? Okay, if not, tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. We'll close our meeting by standing and saying the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much for being here. Hope to see you all next month.